Did y'all see that Elon Musk, I guess, got bored and decided he wants to hostilely take over Twitter with apparently a $43 billion. And I started thinking about that. How in the hell is Twitter worth $43 billion? It's like, I get the advertisement and all that, but it's hard for me to contemplate like how something that Twitter is becomes worth this extraordinary amount of money, and that's crazy to think in itself, So if Twitter's
waste of money, to be honest.
If Twitter's worth $43 billion, what is Facebook? $100 billion? I mean, that's crazy,
man. If selling yourself for $43 billion is hostile, I'll take it.
Well, right, but well, there's some flat back on it though, because the rumor is that Elon wants to change how the format of it works. So
of course he does.
The freedom of speech criers are saying, "Oh, don't censor us," and it's all just rumor. That's the crazy thing. Elon's never really came out and said anything. He has been an advocate. Well, he's been an advocate for an edit button for years now, but the whole point in Twitter is you say what you say, you can't edit.
I know he bought like almost 10%.
Well, yeah, I saw that.
So he's basically it's smart. He's saying sell to me, or I'm going to dump my shares. And if you dump 10% of a stock, it's going to tank the value,
right?
A lot.
Oh, I know.
So,
I understand that. I was trying to stay away from the seriousness of it. I was trying to have some fun with it, Matt.
Yeah.
Thanks for fucking up. But this is the Rebel Radio Podcast. This is Mark.
This is Matt.
Long.
And, but anyway, it was just interesting to think that I guess he got bored making spaceships and he needs to go back to doing that because they're awesome. And cars that drive themselves. That's cooler than, Twitter, I think, has a purpose and it's cool. And I use it some, and mostly to bitch about the Astros or whatever and a little bit of podcast promotion on it. But I'm not like, I don't think it's like the greatest thing ever. I prefer to use Facebook, right? I like Instagram. I think it's cool just to share photos and stuff. And,
TikTok's the new thing now.
Yeah, but TikTok, it seems like you have to be like 20 and under, and you have to have huge tits. That's what it seems like.
I don't know. Danny Trejo's on Twitter, and he didn't have huge tits.
but that's a whole different thing because celebrity. Well, he has like man boobs, but like celebrity. Well, yeah, but that's celebrities, and their PR reps are telling them to get on all the social media, so that's a little different,
Yeah.
Because believe it or not, yes, some of the athletes do run their own Twitter accounts, but when it comes to like actors and celebrities and stuff, 80% of those are doing these things because their PR people have told them to, so it's hard to, believe all that stuff all the time. But, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting that the Twitter was worth that much. And I just like started thinking, why, Elon? Were you bored? I mean, I didn't realize he was worth that much money. He's worth like $300 billion. That's insane.
Yeah.
And I'm still not sure what he did to get that famous. I don't know. I guess technology. So
technology.
I don't know if he's famous.
From Africa.
Would you consider him famous? Yeah, he's rich and stuff, but I would imagine there's still a lot of people who don't know who he is. Like, I don't think he's
on Saturday. He was on Saturday.
Right,
Live.
but I don't think he's quite like sports star famous. Like, there's probably people like some places that could tell you who Michael Jordan is, but they're not going to tell you who Elon Musk is. I don't think he's quite that level famous.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he's kind of like Bezos, since Bezos, he took over Washington Post, he bought it.
Right. But even him, he's a guy that, unless you really follow pop culture trends, people don't know he's the CEO of Amazon or for a little bit longer. Isn't he stepping down this summer or something? So,
yeah, Elon's buying that too. Probably. He added it to his cart.
Well, isn't Amazon's parent company already Time Warner? Yeah, because Bezos. So. Yeah, because Bezos owns Time Warner or part of it. So yeah, so they already are. I mean, they're not going to hurt. So Amazon's going to own the fucking Postal Service and FedEx and UPS and everybody eventually, so they can deliver in 24 hours instead of 48 hours.
Yep.
But man, it's been a week, man. How are you guys doing?
Not
exhausted.
Bad. Quiet week, but man, Friday really was a gut punch day.
Yeah, it's just been a week. It's a holiday week. It's Easter weekend across the world, and the holiday.
I just hope next week will calm the head.
Holiday weeks are tough, and then I don't know, man. I've had I don't want to get too into it, but I've had like just a bad mental day today. You know, I mean, things that have happened in my life the last few years, sometimes things still come back, and I just haven't like felt myself today. And I was kind of looking forward to this and having some fun with you guys and trying to get things off my mind. And I don't know why it still happens every now and then. I'm not trying to be sappy or anything, but you know, some days you get like that. And,
we're honored, Mark.
So it was a tough day. And,
someone looks forward to us. It's nice.
I take back everything I just said.
You're like, you know what?
Take it back. I was enjoying it. Why does Matt have to ruin everything? Shut up, Matt. Shut up.
Step Brothers when
Shut up, Matt. Good.
John C. Reilly rips a fart and Rogan's like,
I'm just kidding.
Don't get your humor, Matt.
Yeah.
I guess I miss you guys. You know, it's cool we do it digitally and stuff, but that's like we'll have to get together soon and maybe go see a movie or something. Maybe a Top Gun or something like that. You know,
hell yeah, Top Gun.
Because otherwise, I was probably going to go see that by myself, since you know the kids ain't going to watch Top Gun. But you know, well, Michael would be. I'm like, yeah, that's a dad movie. So, the new trailer for it's great. They showed that new trailer for it in front of Sonic, and I was like, man, it looks awesome.
Yes,
definitely looking forward to it. I was reading over 800 different aerial shots and stunts they filmed for it. Hours and hours of footage. You know, that's crazy. Like, just they filmed so much aerial footage because they wanted to make sure it looked as real and as close as they could. I mean, something like several hundred hours of just aerial footage so they could blend into the film because they wanted to make sure it looked as real as possible. And they didn't cheapen on it. So, pretty cool. You can love or hate Tom Cruise, but there's no doubt he makes a lot of entertaining films, and Top Gun Maverick looks just as much entertaining as the other one. So we'll see.
He knows how to fly one of those, right?
Yeah. He's taking a lot of lessons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's cool, man.
Almost every movie he makes, yes, the studio and the insurance company have some arguments about what he can and can't do because he tends to be a bit brave with doing his own stunts. But you know, I've always thought that was cool, man. I think it gives a more realism to the film and a sense of that this guy cares about filmmaking and giving the best experience to the audience. You know, instead of stepping to the side because I don't want to break my hip and let a stuntman do it. But respect to the stuntmen too, man, because they put their lives on the line for movies and things.
Oh yeah,
and so that's pretty cool. Hollywood magic, folks. It's why we enjoy the movies and why we do this podcast, man. Just talking films and things we love. And
this is why we play the game.
And so let's get into the show then. Download this, man.
Sports. It's in the game.
It's in the game.
There's a lot of, I didn't get on a tangent, but there's a lot of rumors that they might be coming back with NCAA football. I hope so.
Ooh.
It's been a lot of rumors. So we'll find out within the next few months if that's happening. I would think. So that'd be cool. But let's get into Download This, where we tell people what we watched, streamed, or checked out this week. And I guess I'll go first. I haven't gone first a couple weeks. I haven't watched a lot. Well, okay, no, I did. I've almost done with Yellowstone. I have like one episode left. But I am caught up on Moon Knight. I watched all 3 episodes so far. I really like this show quite a bit, actually. I think it's one of the cooler things Marvel has done. I had no idea what to expect because I'm not really familiar with the character of Moon Knight, but fuck, man, I think it's badass. I'm really enjoying the shit out of it. And Oscar Isaac is he's really good. Like I almost like it enough that I wish it was a movie and not a TV show because I feel like it's a cool enough story that it could have been a film. And I won't say too much more in case Matt saw it too, you know, because I don't want to spoil it.
I haven't even seen anything.
Man, dude, you should watch it long. It's good shit, man.
I know. People keep harassing me about it.
And then people, meaning me and Matt.
No, there's other folks too. And
then other than that, I've been playing I got the new Lego Star Wars, the complete Skywalker saga. Man, it's a lot of fun. I've been playing with Wyatt and enjoying it with the kids, and it's probably one of the best Lego games they made. And one thing I really like about this one is you guys have both played some of the Lego games, and they're fucking hard, right? You know, like figure out puzzles and what to do. Easiest. They simplified this one a lot, so it's a lot more enjoyable. And that's the first thing I loved about it. It's like, thank God they finally made a Lego game where I don't have to be smarter than a 12-year-old. It's what it seems like sometimes because there's still puzzles in it and stuff, but it's a lot easier. It still has some great Lego humor, and it's cool because you can start with any of the 3 trilogies, episode 4, episode 1, or episode 7, and then and play through them. It's like playing the movies in Lego form. But I really enjoyed it. It's got content from some of the other films too, Mando and Solo and all that. And I wasn't sure I'd feel about another Lego game, but this one I think is worth it, man. If you're a Star Wars fan, because
the voice actor for Obi-Wan is from the guy from the Clone Wars, right?
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know some of the voices are a little funky at times, but and it's cool because they add a lot of little like bonus scenes and stuff, like add to the films, but not so much where they ruin the film. Just little Lego twerks here and there, and I really like it, man. It's definitely I didn't want to spend $60 on a Lego game, but I told the boys, I say, if I buy this as y'all's Easter gift, and obviously there's perks in it for Dad too. But man, I don't feel like guilty spending the money on this one because it's really
boomerang gift. It's
really good. I know Lego games go cheap pretty fast. They drop down to 30 then 20, but this one was definitely worth the money, man. I really, really liking it a lot. And I've been playing with Wyatt. I need to sneak on there and make my own save file and play through it myself. Because with him, sometimes he doesn't want to explore. He wants to go right through everything and get it done. I'm like, you got to explore the levels, dude. Yeah, but he's a kid. He doesn't understand.
He's like, I want to see the cutscene.
Yeah. It's like, let's go kill Boba Fett or Darth Vader. I'm like, yeah, but you can do this first. And he's like, no, Dad, you got to do this. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun to play. But because we recorded last Saturday night, so I already talked about seeing Sonic, and so that's about all I've really watched this week.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll go. I saw Sonic today. Took the kids, and I'm with you, Mark. It's definitely the best video game movie with a sequel out there. Maybe even shaping up to be one of the better video game movie franchises, probably easily. I mean, I can't think of any video game movies that are off the top of my head that had a really good sequel or a second sequel or whatever. So I look forward to its third film.
I mean,
of course, just to echo what you said, Jim Carrey's great. It's fun. It continues doing what it, established in the first film, just kind of more of the same.
Well, right.
And
that's kind of what I said. Like, I feel like it is more bigger and more special effects, but I don't necessarily feel it was better than the first one. I kind of felt they were on par. It's a sequel that doesn't try to fix anything that was broken. It just goes out and does the same thing, and that's just a good time at the movies.
Yeah, if you were to play the first movie and the second movie continuously, I would have felt like I watched the same film. And
there's nothing wrong with that format. Sure. That's okay. Yeah. That's why fix what worked or the first time.
I will say that I think I thought it was hilarious that Shamar Moore is in the movie and what Shamar Moore is in the movie. Because, I'm a Criminal Mind. I do like Criminal Minds. And, he played an FBI agent there. And I just thought it was funny that he was doing the same thing in this film. That's, I don't think that's too big of a spoiler, but it was fun. I like how the ringtone is the theme from the first Sonic game.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, because I had a Genesis. I had Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Sonic and Knuckles, and I enjoy the films, and we'll see if we get Shadow in a Shadow movie in the as a third film.
Well, you just spoiled the shit out of the stinger, but I guess the movie's been out a week now. So
it's been that so thing.
I don't know how your screening was, how full it was today, but when I saw it Saturday, it was pretty full because it had a good opening weekend, $72 million. That's good for a kid's video game movie, and But I think I mentioned this, like when we go see a Marvel movie and there's a stinger and we see Thanos and all the adults are like, "Whoa, that's cool." It was flipped around in my viewing of Sonic when they show Shadow in the stinger, because I know Long doesn't really care too much about spoilers of that movie. He'll see it eventually. it was the flip. The adults were quiet, and all the kids in my screen were like, "Oh, Shadow!" And they were all screaming, and I just got a real kick out of that. How it was the opposite. That's what it feels like when the kids are like, "What is Dad on out?" You know. And I thought that was cool.
There were these kids in the theater, and I thought it was funny. To your point, Mark, they're watching the movie, and I guess someone must have been doing something next to them. And these kids, they just from their voices, they sounded like they were like late elementary school or something, like 4th or 5th grade. And they're like, "Hey, we're trying to watch a movie." And I'm like, these kids are serious. Hey, don't mess up these kids' Sonic experience. And then they clapped. The kids were clapping at a few points. It was definitely a kid-oriented gaming film for sure.
Yeah, there were a lot of kids in my screening, and I don't get, kids make a little noise in a movie. It doesn't really bother me. It's because when I go see something like that, I know what I'm going to see, and it's okay. I just wish the kid who sat next to me, and he was old. He was probably 15, 16. I just hope he learns how to use deodorant. That's all I'm going to say. He was a little ripe, and I was like, "What is that?"
Sweaty kid.
It took me a bit to realize what the smell was, and I started realizing it was coming from that kid. I was like, and it's just gross. It's like
smelly kid.
Yeah.
Man.
Because when you have your own kids, you're like, "Man, are one of my kids smelling?" No, it's the other kid.
Heck no. I'll spray my kids down. But yeah, overall good film. And like you, Mark, I also got caught up with Moon Knight. Feel like this is, definitely went beyond my expectations. Just like you, I just didn't know what to expect. Wasn't familiar with the character at all. And, Oscar Isaac's, has done a really good job. I think the action is good. The lore is good. And, can't wait for more episodes.
That's what I really like is the lore, man, because I don't know it, and I'm finding it like it's really fucking intriguing. It's so different from some of the other Marvel stuff they've done. And I think that's why I'm really liking it, and you got to admit, like the last 10 minutes of episode 2 all the way through the end of episode 3 are like the best 70 minutes so far. Like it was just so good. Yes. It was like edge of your seat type good. The stuff we come to expect from Marvel. Just really well done. All of episode 3 and the last 10 minutes of episode 2. It's cool, man. I like the suit. I don't know why people always call Moon Knight Marvel's version of Batman. I don't really see that. It's not this. I don't know where they got that. Maybe in look.
Oh, because he's vengeance.
Yeah, but I mean,
vengeance.
But the lore is not similar at all. So
no.
Excuse me.
Far off.
But it's good, and it's one of those shows that works so well because of Oscar Isaac, and to credit Ethan Hawke. I already 3 episodes in, it's like I buy them so much. I don't see who else could play those parts, and that's a sign of good acting.
Guy.
Yeah, it's a sign of good acting and good writing. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, technically a bad guy, I guess. Listening to his...
He seems he's headed that way, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What else? Oh, I... we had just done a Mel Brooks movie last week, and, talking along, I think pre-show or post-show, I forget which, but I was like, I can't remember the last time I watched some of these other Mel Brooks movies, so I rented Blazing Saddles and watched Blazing Saddles. You rented it? You
have Netflix. It's on Netflix and Amazon Prime.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I looked it up on Amazon Prime and it didn't.
It used to be on Amazon Prime. I'm like 9% sure it's on Netflix and Hulu right now.
Okay. Maybe it was on Netflix.
Anything pre-1980 always look, because almost anything that's before 1980 is streaming, especially the popular stuff.
Okay.
There's
I always try and type it in on Google and say, this movie
I can't trust that, man.
See what pops up.
Yeah, you just got to open the app and see if it's on there. Or even IMDb. IMDb will list some of them if they're available.
Mm-hmm.
Like IMDb will tell you if it's on HBO Max or Netflix usually, or Hulu.
Yeah. I don't know if I enjoy Blazing Saddles as much as I used to, and I think I enjoy Men in Tights more. I definitely want to. I saw that Young Frankenstein is free on Prime, so I'm going to watch that next. I'm going to try and get that in this weekend. But yeah, watched Blazing Saddles, and I rewatched Encanto, and it was fun. And that's it.
Cool. There was a new content patch, a really big one that dropped for FF14. I was playing that all week, and the new storyline that they're doing is basically after, like the last expansion, Endwalker, was basically the end of the story, and we saved the world by going into freaking space and fighting despair.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's a whole new adventure now and it's basically, bringing the game back to its adventuring roots, and really good storyline so far. And because I can't say anything without spoiling it, so anyhow, that's the only thing I had time for, is to explore the new content patch that dropped, and literally nothing else.
Nice.
We'll allow your slacking long. I'm just kidding with you.
Playing a game.
Yeah.
All right, that's all my bit.
All right. Well, I guess we will get in today's featured film then, where we continue our comedy month here. Thank God I enjoyed this movie after last week's whatever that was, but we won't go there. But this week we are covering a movie that kind of came out of nowhere. This was just created by a couple writers. They felt like creating a modern stoner buddy duo movie in the vein of old Cheech and Chong films and things like that. And they created Harold and Kumar. And this movie is Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. And to summarize this, I guess I haven't summarized in a while. Basically, it's pretty simple. One is Harold is a investment banker who does care about his day job, but likes to party at night a little bit. Kumar is a super smart kid that should be going to medical school, but is still rebellious and doesn't want to do what his dad wants him to do, so he'd just rather smoke weed all day. So Harold and him, they come home from work or wherever, and they get high, and they decide they get the munchies, so they go on a quest to find White Castle burgers. And from there, things ensue, as they always do in these kind of movies. But it's fun stuff. And that's basically how you summarize Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. And a relatively successful movie. This movie did pretty damn well in the box office and across the world, enough to spawn a couple of sequels and form a little franchise out of this. Because it's one of those movies that just kind of came out at the right time. People wanted to see funny stuff, and this movie did well and found a home on video and streaming sites, and has done really well. And I think this movie, I can't remember the first time I saw it, probably rented it or something. I don't think I saw it in theaters. But I think this movie, my initial rewatching it this week, is it works so well because it doesn't take itself too seriously, but just serious enough. I think those are always the best kind of buddy comedies. They don't get so silly that they're stupid, but yet they have a bit of seriousness to them. And I think that's why and it's paced really well. I think it's funny how they're going 45 minutes across town to go to White Castle, but yet they seem to run into everyone they know. This town suddenly seems really small, but also huge at the same time. And I think that's part of the gag. I think that's part of the gag of it, though, too. And there's a lot of good charisma in this movie between Harold and Kumar, and I think that's what makes it work well. So it has all the elements of a great buddy comedy, mixed in with some marijuana and shenanigans and naked women and colleges and all kinds of sorts of stuff in this movie. It's definitely, I feel like it's definitely a homage to old Cheech and Chong movies in some ways, but not a direct homage, just in spirit. And because I started to think the other day, what other modern stoner comedy movies have we had like this that spawned a couple of sequels? I mean, yeah, you got Kevin Smith with Jay and Silent Bob characters, but they're not really centered around them, not in the same vein of this. This is more of a true stoner buddy duo movie.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you guys first see this? Y'all's initial thoughts on this pretty funny, entertaining movie?
I saw it at home, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, even though I'm not a stoner. Didn't really get some of the inside references among stoner culture.
Well, that's stereotyping.
But I really got a big laugh from the fake PSA. That's my favorite joke in the whole movie for some reason. It's making fun of 90s PSAs about anti-marijuana smoking.
Shit.
And
that might have even been late 80s, early 90s. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm so high. No.
I remember that too.
Terrible acting. Yeah. But it's great. I liked it. And I liked it a lot. And there's a lot of some of the how American culture views Asian Americans kind of hits home too. So still hits home. It's like, oh, look, he likes, crunching numbers. We'll just let him do all the work. That stuff.
Like, oh, the Asian guys love crunching numbers. You just made his weekend. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. So, it made my blood boil when I saw that. So.
But he gets his at the end.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, he does, and that was pretty satisfying.
Yeah. I have to confess, this was the first time I've seen this movie.
What?
Yeah.
Yep. It was. And I enjoyed it for what it was. The early 2000s. You could tell it's early 2000s, and which not a bad thing. Not don't want to come up sound like a bashing. I enjoyed it. The shenanigans are hilarious. The diarrhea chicks. The dude that's like, yeah, you could go inside and fuck my wife. I'm like, really?
That's Chris Maloney. That's Chris Maloney playing him. It's hilarious. Yeah.
And then Neil Patrick.
What's that crime show called again?
Law and Order.
Law and Order, SVU. Yeah.
Yep. And crazy, just, complete opposite of the roles that he normally takes. He's normally the stoic, serious military police dude. And, now he's like this hillbilly with freaking sores all over him. And he's got some smoking wife.
You see that? It's like, they're whispering to each other, dude.
Yeah, freak show.
You see that mark on him? Like, why are you whispering? He's gonna hear everything he says. No, he's not.
No, he's
like,
not.
And then he says, "I heard everything you said."
Man, I mean, you got some characters in this film, and even it saved Neil Patrick Harris's career. He had just, but I think right before this, he had just gotten the How I Met Your Mother audition. He got that part, and it boosted his popularity. And the movie made in its debut, it made more than double its production budget. So of course, obviously, gonna get some sequels out of it. I haven't seen the sequels, obviously, since I haven't seen just barely saw the first one, but maybe I'll have to go back and see what the sequels were all about. Probably just more of this.
The second one's Guantanamo Bay is a little rough, but the Christmas movie's fun, but it's definitely it's probably the most stonerish of the movies. You almost need to be under the influence to really get all the Christmas jokes in that one. And I don't mean Christmas jokes; I just meant jokes in general. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I like all of them though.
I like how he's he's like wigging out, and he dreams that he's an Asian Zorro, and that chick that he likes is like licking his face, and then it's fucking
Kumar.
Kumar.
Yeah, or where Kumar's dreaming about marrying the bag of weed.
Yes.
There's definitely some psychedelic sequences in this. So
yeah, and those convenience store idiot teens, and then for some reason the one dude that squeals like a pig.
Right.
I'm like, okay, why is he squealing like a pig? You know, that's weird. And then they found out they had a mixtape too, and it's like all this wimp rock stuff.
Right. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soft rock, fucking REO Speedwagon.
Yeah.
And only Ryan Reynolds Ryan Reynolds makes a cameo in this. Anthony Anderson makes cameos. So a lot of early 2000s comedians making appearances in this movie too. The great late Fred Willard, which actually makes me laugh at the beginning where he's interviewing him for the position, and Kumar answers the phone. He's like, "Yeah, man, we gotta get fucking high. We gotta get some pussy." And he's over there like, "Whoa, what?"
He's like, "No, I'm not doing anything important right now."
He's like, "Yeah, I'm good. Let's just do this thing." So Matt, you mentioned the chicks scene, man. You didn't expect that one, did you?
I did not.
Because most movies, I think it's kind of, they flip flop this. Most movies is dudes in the bathroom scenes, and they give you something different with this one, and it's funny though.
Oh yeah, they flipped the script.
Let's play battle shits. Like what?
Battle shits. She's like, "Oh, I shouldn't have eaten those tacos."
And he's like, what does he say? "Man, if it wasn't for their shits, they were gonna let you put it inside them, man."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, gross." That's another thing. It's not just the quest for the White Castle burgers. It's a typical stoner movie, and there are in these stoner movies. There's kind of rules to them. You're always trying to score more weed, get something to eat, and get laid. I mean, those are kind of the rules. And the same thing in this. Yeah. Kumar's always thinking about getting some. And Harold's like, yeah, he wants some, but he's really stuck on the chick from the apartment, Maria, which he's too scared to talk to,
Yep.
So this movie follows the rules of stoner movies very much because Cheech and Chong were always trying to score more weed. They were always trying to score with chicks, and they were usually always on a mission somewhere.
That's true.
And quite possibly, this movie has the most satisfying burger eating scene.
Oh yeah, it's great
in movie history.
Yes.
Yeah,
they get there.
Man, I wish we had a White Castle in Texas. Just to try it out, because those frozen ones don't really.
No, they're not the same.
I know they don't.
No, they're not the same.
Yeah,
the closest one to Texas is like about 13 hours away up in like Kansas City or something. Yeah, because I actually looked one time. Because when we were in Oklahoma City, when I went to the Pearl Jam show, because I thought Oklahoma City had White Castle. So I Googled it to see where they were. And apparently the last one in Oklahoma had closed about 2 years earlier. And so the closest one to Oklahoma City was in Kansas. And I was like, oh, I guess that's closest to Texas also. So a little too far to go get a burger. No matter how bad my munchies would be, I'm not going to drive to Kansas for Slider Burgers. But it's a very popular chain up north. And but no, you're right. They go on this mission and they finally reach the White Castle. Well, they think they reached the White Castle. The reason they have to drive 45 minutes out is because early in the film, the White Castle was in town, and suddenly I thought that was pretty funny. Like, when the fuck did this become a different burger joint? And he's like, 2 years ago. And they're like, oh man. So that just tells you the randomness of their munchies. They never go to fucking White Castle because they didn't know it had been closed for 2 years. And it's kind of like one of those subtle jokes you have to catch for a moment. You're like, oh, okay. And but they do finally reach White Castle. Then they do the typical kind of comedy gag. They're like, oh man, we don't have any money. And you're like, oh shit, they make it all the White Castle, they're broke. But who's there behind them? Doogie Howser saves the day. Pays for their meal because he owed them for stealing their car earlier in the film. And all is well in the world.
Love stains.
Yes, love stains in the car. And all is well in the world as they sit down and they enjoy their 30 sliders each that they ate. And it is a satisfying scene. Then his coworkers come into the restaurant, and that's when he gets his revenge on them and tells them off about, I'm not going to do your paperwork anymore, blah, blah, blah. And he tells the white boys what's up.
That's right. He's like, I'm going to go to your boss. But yeah, man, it comes full circle.
Exactly. And this is one of is one of John Chow's kind of early roles, wasn't it? When did Star Trek come out?
2009.
Yeah, it was a little bit later when he was casting that.
Yeah.
So this is one of his early kind of roles, and he's always like John Cho. I think he's good on screen. And Kal Penn, you know, he doesn't act as much, it seems. He appears in small roles here and there, but I like their charisma in this movie. And there's been rumors for a long time about a fourth film, but they've shot that down several times. They said no, it's just, you know. But the funny thing is, it's kind of a running gag that the creators kind of keep the fuel going about the fourth film, even though there's no real movement at all. But they kind of do it as a running gag, kind of keep it going. Like, oh yeah, there's gonna be a fourth film. No, not really. You know, but you know, like weed comedies, are they as funny now with it being legal? You know, across a lot of the nation now. You know, and if things have their way, it's gonna be federally legal next year sometime. I mean, so it's like. I think that's part of the appeal of these kind of movies sometimes is they're funny because it was a forbidden thing that, you know, it was taboo to smoke weed. And so people would watch these movies and oh, that's really funny. I can see how people who smoke weed act and which they don't all act that way, but the movies stereotype them that way. And I think maybe that's why watching for the first time in 2022 and we're now in a weed culture where weed is accepted is maybe not as funny as it might have been if you watched it 15 years ago. But for me, it still holds up well, and I still laugh because, you know, I appreciate the humor in it.
Yeah. Is it better than Half Baked?
Yes.
Really? Wow.
Yes. Half Baked's not that funny.
I like it. I still like that movie.
I like it, but it's okay. I think I like this better, I think. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, Half-Baked's okay. Half-Baked is more slapstick.
Dave Chappelle, Jim Brewer.
That's the thing. It's more slapstick, cheesy kind of silliness, you know. Where I like the buddy format of this, the road movie kind of style. But you should watch the other two.
The Road Trip,
yes, and Guantanamo Bay. And I know Harold and Kumar's Christmas is on Netflix. Okay. I don't think Guantanamo Bay is, but I know the Christmas one is on because when I checked the other day to see if these were streaming, where it popped up, I was like, "Oh, that's weird. The Christmas one's on, but the other two aren't." So, but and you don't have
in April,
and there's not like a continuity to them. You don't have to watch them in order. I mean, you can watch the Christmas one without having seen Guantanamo Bay. You know, so. But it's a fun movie. I actually enjoy this. I might rank it a little bit higher than maybe y'all because I give it kind of an A-. I mean. I just think it's a fun, goofy movie. It always makes me laugh. It puts me in a good mood. And I hadn't watched it in a while, so I'm glad I watched it this week.
I'll give it a B. That was solid.
I'll give it an A.
Yeah.
Or some of the commentary on some of the race relations in it.
Oh, yeah.
Fair enough. And I really like Chris Maloney's performance as Freak Show. I think it's hilarious. And don't let Maloney fool you. If you look at his IMDb page, Maloney's done a lot of goofy stuff over the years. Yes, he does tend to play serious too, but I think the guy has a knack for some comedy in his career too. And so he's done a lot of stuff, and I think he's legitimately funny. Whenever the wife's trying to get on with him and she's taking off her shirt, and he walks there like, "Oh, well, let's go." And he takes his shirt off too. You're like, "Oh, it's gross." They all run. Oh, what a funny movie, though. I'm surviving this comedy month with the running gag on the show that I don't like comedy, which isn't true. But this one I enjoyed, and I enjoyed Major League, and did not enjoy Robin Hood that much. And I'm going to hopefully be able to survive next week's film, which we'll talk about in a little bit. It's been a year since I've seen it, so I might be a little unfair to it at the moment. So we'll see. But all right, Long, you're this week's host for Tool of the Nerds after losing last week. So introduce the topic we've got today.
Okay. This is kind of a topical debate topic. We are going to do, and it's kind of related to the movie too. The topic is, should we or shouldn't we legalize the weed the hemp, the Mary Jane, the devil's grass,
Oh, shit, the devil's grass.
the reefer madness. Matt is going to be against it, and Mark is pro. So, all right, guys. Let's see. Mark, since you won last week, it's up to you to decide if you want to go first or not.
I will take my right to yield to Matt because I like to go second. I like sloppy.
Oh, time to take a break. I'm joking. All right, let me see here. Timer is go.
So, aside from it being illegal in the state that we live in, and not wanting to commit malaprohibitums, we shouldn't legalize it because statistically, according to traffic studies, you are 25% more likely to get into a wreck after puffing on the magic dragon. And hey, it's all fun to have fun, but whenever you're impacting families or kids or someone's grandma, puffing on your magic grasses, so you can hallucinate about, whatever you want to hallucinate about, riding on a cheetah and then having someone lick your face. I don't know. You're gonna hurt a family, potentially. So that's not cool. 2, you are at an increased risk of chlamydia if you're passing it around, and herpes simplex too. No one likes STDs. STDs aren't cool. We don't need STD outbreaks. So I guess if you're down with the STDs, then, you're cool with passing around a joint here or there, but the clap ain't cool. And then also it causes erectile dysfunction according to NIH.gov. So if we legalize it, we're just going to have a bunch of limp dick motherfuckers walking around here. And no one wants a limp dick. And then lastly, I'll be damned if I'm going to puff on the same things as the people in the 70s who named their kids Sunshine Bread or Wonder Unicorn. That's not me. My kid's named Walker and Texas Ranger. It's kind of parent I am. No, they're not really named that. Took that from Talladega Nights. But no, man, too many consequences. The clap, a soft dick. It's not cool.
1 minute left.
Don't legalize it.
Okay, so you're good there,
yeah.
Mark? Matt? Okay. Yeah. All right. Mark, your rebuttal, sir. Your response.
Well, I mean, first off, besides the obvious economic impact of making weed legal, as it's already been shown in the States where it's been highly successful, this is something that was naturally given to us by the earth. And it has a lot of benefits of healing, whether it's your bones or your joints or your mind. Some of our great art has been created under the influence of this wonderful drug, like Jimi Hendrix and Bob Marley, and some great music made, great artists throughout time. It's also given us some amazing pop culture characters such as Cheech and Chong or Jay and Silent Bob or Harold and Kumar in this movie we did today. So if the weed was not there, even though it was illegal at those times, those characters were created, we want to have these great pop culture characters because I think weed gives a lot more back to the world than it does take away. Because those statistics, I just Googled what you were talking about. That was a pretty small survey sample. 9,000 people out of a world of 3 billion. 25%, I'm not going to believe that shit. It's like, you know what? Gallup polls. People don't need those, And not only that, now you're seeing a lot of our Snoop Dogg. He's an advocate for it. A lot of actors across the world. I mean, who am I to argue with Snoop? If Snoop says weed is okay and that it's for every man and woman and child if they want to smoke it. Yes, I said children. I know. I'm just kidding. Don't give weed to your kids. But, that I'm not going to argue with Snoop because, I mean, he's the D-O-double-G. And you want to make it all sad, like weed's going to hurt people and car wrecks. But no, it makes more people happy. They say couples that smoke weed together are less likely to divorce. Friends who smoke weed together are likely to be better friends and more trusting because everyone's calm and cool. And I think the world needs a lot of that right now. They need calm and cool and happiness, because there's so much sad around us already. And Matt just has to come at us with more sadness, like statistics and stuff. You know, people have been smoking this shit.
1 minute left.
People have been smoking this shit for hundreds of years, you know, going back to the days when they first discovered it. And I think there's been a lot more benefits of this than there has been bad things. They're already doing the flip side of your study about the car wreck. They've already shown that states like Colorado and California, where it's legal now, in Oregon, they find very few car accidents that they're getting into are actually caused by marijuana, because most people are fairly responsible with it. It becomes almost like alcohol. You know, yes, you still get people to abuse it, but over time, people tend to not abuse it and care for it. And shit.
20 seconds.
There's shit. Would you rather put the money in a drug dealer? Would you rather put the money in your state's economy? That right there alone is why you should legalize weed. Or it should be legal. Sorry.
Very succinct. All right, Matt, was it a minute or a minute and a half?
A minute.
Okay, your 1 minute rebuttal, sir. Now.
Yeah, maybe it is a small sample size, but you can't survey like 1 billion people. That's why it's a survey. But I didn't hear you speak to the limp penis part, so I guess you're okay with the low blood flow to your penis, which is okay, I guess. You know, some people like a hard one, some people like a soft one. But in the end, I'm not going to, do something that's akin to hippies. And yeah, some people may have smoked weed and it made them iconic, like the artist that you named. But just like Spider-Man, if you need the suit, then you weren't special in the first place. And if you need weed to make you iconic, then you weren't special in the first place. They were special without it. And then,
seconds.
Who wants to get the munchies? It's going to drive your heart disease rate up big time. So no, I'm not going to be a hippie. I'm going to side with Reagan on this and say, damn you hippies. And no weed. Yeah, no weed.
All right.
Yeah. A minute goes by fast.
Yes. Mark, your 1 minute rebuttal.
Well, first off, you always want to come with the attacks and stereotype people and call them hippies. That's for the untrained people that don't know anything about the marijuana. Okay. And two, limp dick. Limp dick's your own problem. That's nothing to do with fucking weed. If you don't jerk it off every few days, whatever, and keep it going, you're going to get limp dicks. That's their problems. You can't blame the weed on that. You got self-love. You got to take care of business. And no one said that those artists needed that stuff to be iconic. They were iconic because of their art and the music and the things they did. It had nothing to do with the weed. Okay. So I don't know where that came from. It's not even the same as wearing a Spider-Man suit. That's a completely different thing. The Spider-Man is fake. He's fake. I hate to tell you this, Matt, but he's not real. But the artists I mentioned were real artists that performed in this world, gave the world their art, and have left us something behind. They don't need a suit to leave their memories and their great art and music behind. And if they did that under the influence, then by golly, I think it's worth it for them to have done that.
5 seconds.
And I'm good.
All right. Well, Matt raised a lot of really good points. The STDs, for one.
That's extremely rare.
Yeah. What else? He raised it's a whole ED thing, obsession there.
That was a little creepy, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, a little. But Mark, you came back with, pragmatic examples of weed being it medically used to the benefit of those who could benefit from medicinal marijuana. Also, the freeing of resources for states to no longer having to enforce weed. And that frees up a lot of prison space as well. It's safer than alcohol. Didn't you mention that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go with Mark on this one.
Damn.
Yeah. I kind of see the benefit of it more. More so than I haven't heard anything about real life examples of STDs affecting any weed smokers I know.
That's probably where they get that skank weed down in like third world countries and shit. Yeah. America, man, you get the good shit here.
Not quite the Acapulco Gold.
Right.
But yeah. Sorry, Matt. Not this week. I guess I'll be up for another challenge there. It'll be me and Mark again. And then, Matt, you get to choose the topic, God help us.
Please have nothing to do with fucking Three Amigos. That's all I have to say. It's okay to stay away from the movie.
Long has given me inspiration and I already know the question.
Look at the pop culture news things going that way.
Yeah.
So. Anyway. I'm just a boss. What can I say? Let's talk some.
One of these days we'll have to do a surprise debate topic too.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Not something that we can't prepare for. And I think, Mark, since you've won so many times, I think you get the privilege of coming up with a hot seat type debate topic. So. Eventually, maybe at the end of the year or something like that, or every end of the month or every quarter.
Maybe we'll do it like on the 300th episode as
Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
That's coming up.
Yeah,
coming up in a few weeks. So, wow, 300. All right, let's do some news before we preview next week's film. Mads Mikkelsen gave a little interview. Was talking Indiana Jones 5, and he said that. It's very much in the vein of Raiders of the Lost Ark, going back to that feel of the old movie serials. And, I believe him because, one, I don't think Mads doesn't strike me as the type that's just going to try to sell up the film to make money, because I think he's one of those actors that takes on projects that he truly believes in. And not only that, just from knowing the films that James Mangold has directed, I believe that he's doing Indiana Jones in the style that it needs to be done in. And, I kind of am looking forward to this a little bit more than I was. I just wish it hadn't been delayed another year, but it is what it is.
Who's the villain of Indiana Jones 4?
I'm trying to think who they cast.
Is it Mikkelsen? I thought it was another female villain. I could be wrong.
They cast Phoebe Walter. I don't know how you say her last name. Phoebe Walter Bridge. So maybe she's a villain in it. There's no character names on IMDb because they're trying to keep it all secret,
Or Mads Mikkelsen might be the typical second henchman in command.
Boyd Holbrook, who played the villain in Logan, he's in it. So who knows if he's a villain? I mean, fucking Antonio Banderas, dude, is in an Indiana Jones movie. How badass is that?
That is cool.
Yeah.
So I always liked Antonio Banderas. I don't know. I always felt he was good charismatic actor. I always liked him. So I'm looking forward to it. Because I don't hate on the Crystal Skull like some people. I take it for what it is. I think there's some good moments in it. But I do feel like Indy needs a final, true send off into the sunset. So Mangold just better not kill him, because he has a history of killing characters in his films. And but I don't think they will. I think that Indiana Jones deserves better than that. I think he deserves just to end it with riding off into the sun. So we'll see.
That would be cool.
If you have not had a chance to see the Batman, well, you can watch it today, the day this episode is released. It's on HBO Max on Monday, April 18th. So HBO stuck to their word. HBO stuck to their word, releasing it 45 days after the theatrical release. A lot of people thought they might balk on that because the movie's still doing well at the box office, but they stay true. And if you want to buy it on Blu-ray, it'll be out May 24th on Blu-ray, and which I'm sure I will buy a copy of it too, just because it's Batman. I'm not going to have a copy of it. But yeah, so if you did not get a chance to see it, you can watch it today on HBO Max. Ghost of Tsushima, very popular video game from a couple years ago, and a very good game, is being optioned to film by Long's favorite studio, Sony. We'll see. It's just like any other video game adaptation, but I do think the storylines of Ghost of Tsushima do play themselves well to a feature film adaptation. if done properly. So we'll hold out hope like we do for any time they announce a video game movie project, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys see the trailer for Stranger Things season 4?
Yes.
I haven't had a chance.
Looks cool, man.
Robert England.
Yeah. But all the kids are so much older now. It's the only weird thing about it. But at least Stranger Things takes the time with their writing to explain that it is a couple years later and the kids are older. You know, it's not like they're trying to do this year after year.
Yeah.
But it looks cool, man. It comes out May 27th. I believe it's the same day that Obi-Wan hits. But it just feels like I'm ready to get back into that world of Hawkins after such a long wait with the COVID delays and everything. So.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's how 80. It's so 80s. You have a fucking slasher legend playing in the film. I mean, that's just awesome.
Well, you know, the cool thing about Stranger Things is, you know, it was meant as a 1-season thing, but it was so popular. You know, they came to them and they asked the Duffer Brothers to do more. And a lot of times when that happens, you worry about it suffering. But yeah, I have to say though, they've done a good job of expanding the story and not making it feel forced. I feel like seasons 2 and 3 were both pretty good too. And that was something we were worried about with something that was initially supposed to be a miniseries, but no, they've done a good job expanding the world and continuing the story. So looking forward to it. Even though it's kind of weird that like Miley Bobby Brown was like 12 when she started. Now she's 18 years old. It's all grown up. So kind of growing up with these kids. And lastly, but not least, man, 2022 continues to take some great ones from us. And the great Gilbert Gottfried passed away this week after fighting. Word is he had muscular dystrophy. His family I never heard anything that actually confirmed it, but that was the belief that he had, came down with that terrible disease in the last couple of years and was suffering from that. And he moved on. And a really funny guy, man. I always thought his voice, the way he delivered his comedy was always really funny. And he just really liked by his peers. People say that, like, yeah, he was funny on the front of the screen, but behind the scenes, they said that he was the type of guy that was always looking out for everybody else and making sure everybody was taken care of. Just a true gentleman. So, of course, in pop culture, he's probably most remembered for the voice of the parrot in Aladdin. But he'll be missed.
Yeah. Or Beverly.
You guys
Hills
get
Cop.
to read that little joke that he wrote that I posted in the text messages?
Yeah, I did read it. Yeah.
It's at the screen crap. Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny joke.
Yeah.
Pretty sick joke, but still funny.
And then the famous aristocrats joke that's going around Hollywood for years, where there was a whole movie about it. He was kind of involved in getting that started too, if I remember right. You know, so,
yeah,
it's like one long running joke, the movie or something. So it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And but yeah. Oh, and then the only last bit of news: Dragon Ball Superhero does finally have a release date of, I think I read June 11th in Japan. So hopefully American release date will be announced soon. Some people believe it might be August or September. So Dragon Ball fans will get their movie. And if it's playing, I'm sure I'll take the boys to see it if it's playing somewhere near. We don't have a draft house near us anymore. So it's like, I wonder who around here might pick it up to show it, you know, so when it comes out.
I wonder.
But
probably AMC.
AMC might have screenings of it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all the news I got. Let's preview next week's film as we come to a conclusion on our April comedy month. Doing a movie that I have been giving Matt kind of a hard time about all week, even though I haven't seen it in years. And I do truly like Steve Martin and Martin Short, and Chevy Chase to a little bit lesser degree than those guys. But Chevy, at this time of his career, he was still very funny. He's not the kind of bitter old man he is nowadays. And that is Three Amigos.
That's right! The Three Amigos. They were the biggest stars of their day.
The Three Amigos are history.
But that was yesterday.
Look, boys, I know show business. Something always turns up. Telegram for the Three Amigos.
guys. They are funny guys. Just kill one of them.
Steve Martin. Chevy Chase.
Do you have anything besides Mexican food?
Martin Short. The Three Amigos.
Throw down your gun! Not you, Dusty!
Sorry.
You're so brave.
Whoa, horsey!
Three Amigos.
I'll come back one day.
Why?
I don't know what to say about this movie. I remember them dancing in their mariachi outfits, and that's about all I can really remember for this film. Is there a plot to the movie? That's like, I don't even remember.
Yeah. So
Yeah, there is.
yeah, they're movie stars, and their contract gets cut, and this village believes that they are really heroes, and they hire them to save their village.
Oh, that's
and
right.
then they
that's
realize that they're in an actual situation where
Yeah,
they
that's
have to
right.
be heroes.
It's kind of a take
And
on
they have to step
Magnificent
up to
Seven.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. I do kind of remember that. So it's been many, many years since I've seen this movie. So I'm sure it'll come back to me as I watch it. So that's next week on the show, Three Amigos. It should be fun. That's all we got, man. The rebelradiopodcast.com is our website. I haven't asked for this in a long time, but if you have a moment, go to iTunes, leave us a review. It's been a while since we've got any reviews up there. That'd be cool. And but thanks as always for listening. Continue to stay safe. And we'll see you next week. This has been Mark.
This has been Matt.
This is long.
Well, we won't see you next week. You will hear us next week. But until then, remember, as always, just go there and do it.
Just go there and do it.